evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. For those of you who have not met before, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Elaine Hughes. I'm the Vice Chair of Core Credit Union. Unfortunately, our Chair can't be with us this evening for medical reasons, but she is logged in virtually and we wish her a speedy recovery. Before we start the meeting, I'd like to mention a couple of housekeeping points. Following my introduction, I will hand you over to our CEO, Michael Byrne, our frequently asked questions page under the insurance section of the website by next Monday. So you're very welcome to our virtual town hall meeting, and I hope you're keeping safe in this difficult time of COVID-19. As we approach the winter months, we are seeing worrying increases in the number of COVID-19 infections. And I would like to take the opportunity at this time to thank the hard work of all of the staff of the Credit Union for their commitment and dedication to our members generally, but especially during these difficult times. I'd like to reassure our members that no matter what happens in the coming months due to COVID-19, the Credit Union will remain open. During the first wave of COVID-19, we introduced a cocooning service for members in vulnerable categories. This service is still available and will continue to be so for as long as it takes. Now, while many of our members are comfortable using our online services, many more like to call to our branches and have a quick chat and complete their transactions. And it's important that we ensure that all members continue to have access to their credit union in whichever way they choose. I'd like to thank you very much for registering to attend our virtual town hall meeting and to introduce you to our free and opt-in member benefits. To put this in perspective, a good turnout for our annual general meeting would be in the region of 100 people. But I'm thrilled to say that this evening, 261 members registered for this event, with members ranging in age from 18 to 87. Over the past number of years, due to changed demographics of our members and the long-term low interest rate environment, the sustainability of our free member benefit programs are challenged and can no longer be maintained at current levels. The Board of Core is made up of members who volunteer their time to govern the credit union. And as fellow members, we must protect member savings and ensure that our credit union continues to provide the services that we and other members need. As members of the board, we have a responsibility to balance services, both paid for and free, within the increasing financial constraints that we have, and to ultimately ensure that the credit union survives and continues to serve our members. Faced with these financial constraints, I'm really excited to introduce our revised plans. Rather than taking the easy option of just applying cuts to the schemes we have worked hard and have developed innovative solutions to these challenges. Our revised plans, which come into effect on the 1st of December, reward members for being active members and incentivizes our less active to become more active. We want you to use the credit union as your primary financial institution for all your loan and day-to-day banking needs. So thank you for your time, and I'll pass you over to Michael.
Hello members, I'm delighted to be here to introduce our free and opt-in member benefit programs. So in this presentation we're going to cover what our new member insurance programs are, why we are making these changes and how these changes will impact you. So new member insurance programs consist of three areas. First is new opt-in member death benefit indemnity. The second is our new loan protection insurances, and finally our new life benefit insurances. Full information on these are on our website corecu.ie/insurance. You can call to our office on 01 272 5600 or ask a member of staff in any of our branches. The benefits and costs of programs may be varied annually. Members will be informed of any such changes via our website or by other means deemed appropriate by the Board of Directors. Terms and conditions apply. So opt-in member death benefit indemnity. So for just €60 a year, you can have €3,000 insurance cover. This €3,000 will be paid to your beneficiaries in the event of your death. Signing up is very simple. Just get an application form from any of our branches or online. Once we receive the completed application, we will organise for the €60 to be deducted hassle-free from your core credit union account. All members who have joined the credit union before 71 are eligible to join this, and existing members have a limited time opportunity to join before the 31st of December 2020. So a member 80 years of age for €60 can sign up to a benefit of €3,000, as long as they do so before the 31st of December 2020. Our loan protection insurance is of critical importance to the credit union and to you, the members. All loans are covered up to the age of 70. So what does loan protection do? Loan protection ensures that in the event that you pass away, your loan liability with the credit union is cleared. So your family or your loved ones don't have to deal with your loan. The liability is gone and dies with you. So in our new programme that we're introducing, we're removing the need for a health questionnaire. So pre-existing condition limitation will be in place for 6 months from the loan. But all eligible members' loans are covered once the 6-month waiting period has expired where there is a pre-existing condition. So what does this mean? This means that if you die within 6 months from a pre-existing condition, the loan isn't covered. However, once you survive for more than 6 months with a pre-existing condition, your loan is covered. So for a lot of our members up to now, they haven't been able to borrow because of a pre-existing condition, even though they might be in actually good health. So this will allow them to borrow. We're also introducing a fantastic gap loan protection. This will allow our members between 70 and 85 to borrow from the credit union. And what this insurance does, it ensures the gap between the loan amount and the share amount. So if a member has 7,000 of a loan and 5,000 in savings, this gap loan insurance covers that gap between the two. So again, terms and conditions apply. So our life benefits insurance is the biggest change that we're introducing. So we have introduced a new concept of an active plan versus a standard plan. So our active plan benefits are up to €16,000 in shares covered. So this could mean that a benefit of up to €32,000 could be payable depending on your age. It's tailored very much towards the life stages and financial needs of our members, and there's a minimum payment of €1,300 benefit payable. So how does it work? So if you're under 34 years of age and you pass away and you have €2,000 in savings, the insurance benefit payable on that is 200%, which is 200% of 2,000 is 4,000. So you'll get your 4,000 in benefit plus your 2,000 savings back. So this will go to your estate, your family, your loved ones in the event if you pass away. And the same then works as the ages get older. It's 150% benefit if you're 35 to 44 and 100% benefit 45 to 54 and so on. So this is a fantastic free benefit from your credit union by just having an account with us. You automatically qualify for this. We're going to look at some of the terms and conditions now on the next page. So as we've already said, the active plan covers member shares up to €16,000 with a minimum benefit payable of €1,300. So the standard plan has €4,000 benefits and a minimum benefit payable of €700 upon your death. So how do you qualify for the life benefit insurance? So very simply, you need to join the credit union before you're 70 years of age, and you must have a minimum shares of €500 upon death. So once you've satisfied those two criteria, you're automatically covered in either one or the other plan. You don't have to do anything yourself. To qualify for the enhanced benefits of the active plan, you need to have paid a minimum of €500 loan interest to the credit union over your membership. If you haven't done so, or you might be a new member, as long as you have loaned for more than €1,000, you're automatically a member of the active plan. And again, if you've never had a need to borrow, and you never will have a need to borrow, it's very simple to access the active plan benefits by just opening up a core credit union current account. So we hope that as many members as possible will avail of the active plan. Again, for members, you don't have to do anything yourselves. This is an automatic cover. As long as you fill those criteria, you'll automatically be opted in. There's nothing you need to do yourself. So for our members who haven't borrowed from us or saving with us, you will still be covered by the standard plan. But again, it's very simple and very easy to ensure that you qualify for the active plan by just opening up a core credit union current account. So why are we making these changes? So the old programs are no longer aligned to our needs. We want to incentivize members to participate in core credit union products, and more so, and most importantly, we want to ensure the viability and protection of our member savings. So So when we mention that our old program is no longer aligned to our needs, what do we mean? The chart that's in front of you there now shows the number of members we have in groups, in each age group, grouped by 5 years. As you can see, we have a fantastic spread of membership over all age groups. The orange line that you see increasing represents the average savings in each age group. So as you can see, as our members get into their 50s, 60s and older, their average savings increase considerably, with up towards 8,000 and 9,000 euro. So when the initial life savings benefit program was developed 40 years ago, it was never intended, Ireland was a much different country and people had very little savings, and the whole intention of life savings is where people didn't have any other assets. They would get something from the credit union to help them at a difficult time once they die, and help their families at a difficult time once they die. We want to incentivise our members to participate in the credit union. A credit union is a cooperative. We are a financial cooperative, but a cooperative is only as strong as the members who use the services. And as you can see from the chart in front of you, ever since the mid-90s, our loans to asset ratio has been dropping. So our loans to assets, so we have significant assets which are effectively made up from the savings of our members. And the purpose of a credit union is to provide those savings and put those credit savings out into credit and loans in our communities. However, for the last 25 years, our members proportionately are borrowing less and less. This is how we generate our income. And it's from this income from loans is how we provide the free benefits. So as our loan to assets ratio drops, that impacts our income and impacts our ability to give dividend or to give free benefits to the members. So we want to encourage members, and we want to incentivize members to use the credit union as your primary financial institution. And these enhanced benefits of our active plan do just that. So again, just to look at a simple pie chart, the orange section of that pie chart represents the members who have never borrowed or who have paid less than 500 euro in interest to the credit union. So this is over half of our members. So we want to incentivize our members to borrow. So less than half our members qualify for this active plan from day one. However, I've demonstrated how easy it is to qualify for it, and we would encourage as many members to take out those products so you get the enhanced benefits and the credit union becomes a stronger cooperative. So we mentioned financial viability and the protection of member savings. The free benefits that we provide to our members cost quite a significant amount of money. And in the last 10 years, we can see the life savings rate on the chart in front of you. So the rate has gone from 22 cents per 1,000 euro shares up to over 44 cents per 1,000 euro shares. So in the last 10 years, the rate has doubled. Members increase in number. We are now up to 37,000 members. We have more members in our aging age groups. And this creates more claims. So with increased savings and increased member shares, multiplied by increased premiums, and then multiplied by the increased number of members, unfortunately, it's a very simple formula that we no longer can sustain the same level of benefits as we have in the past. However, we have put considerable amount of work into revising our benefit programs that we can maximise both the benefit to the members and the sustainability of the programme to the credit union. We want to ensure that we're here for the next 50 years. So I've mentioned about the cost of the free insurance cover. So as you can see from the chart, or the charts, the red bar charts, in 2016, their free insurance costs were 720,000 euro. That's now up to 970,000 euro, almost €1 million. In 2016, we're generating a surplus of 1.2 million, but that now has reduced significantly. So it's more than just the cost of insurances that has ate into our surplus. There are other things eating into our surplus, such as our low loan to asset ratio. But the biggest part that's eating into our surplus is the negative and low interest rate environment we're currently in. So the fact that we have 70% of our members' assets, or 65 to 70% of our members' assets in investments rather than in loans, and those investments are now giving us zero and negative rates, the impact of that each year to us is 1.4 million. So our income is down by 1.4 million because our members are not borrowing and because we've negative rates. So while we're doing our best to manage our costs, we also have to try and manage our income. It's important that we look at the impact of changes and we do an impact analysis when we're changing anything for our members. We want to ensure that we continue to provide the best benefits possible, and we continue to look after our members. So when we were looking at the challenges facing us, what we looked at were the life stages and financial needs of our members. And as you can see by the chart in front of you, the blue line represents the disposable income of a member over their lifetime, and the pink line represents the financial commitments. And I think we can all resonate with the chart that we see in front of us. As we finish school and begin work, our income, we begin to generate income, and our incomes begin to rise, leading to an increased disposable income early in our life. Then we begin to incur commitments such as getting married, such as buying a house or renting a house and having a family. So at these stages of our lives, our financial commitments increase considerably, reducing our disposable income. And then as we head towards retirement, our financial commitments begin to reduce, and we have an increased disposable income, even though our incomes may be dropping at that particular point. So looking at the impact analysis and how we approach this. So we have done a lot of analysis in the background ourselves. However, we were contacted by about 175 members out of our 37,000 members who expressed concerns over the revised insurances. So we've used the information from those members who expressed the concern to demonstrate how our new schemes will provide fantastic benefits, even for those who are concerned. So looking at all of these members, each blue dot represents one of those members and represents the savings of the members. And as you can see, as we've already discussed, as members get older, their savings increase with time and with age. However, and as a credit union, we need to be very careful about this. A significant portion of our members never even manage to obtain a small level of savings. And we also have to ask ourselves, who are we here to benefit? And what is the ethos of the credit union? And here in Core Credit Union, we're very much focused on ensuring that we're looking after the less fortunate in society. So looking at this, at the data we've just spoken about, and the savings per member, or the shares per member, and looking at what would those members, that 175 members, have under the existing scheme. So each of those red dots would represent what those members would have today if they were to pass away today. So let's just look purely just at the benefits that they would have under the existing scheme of 12,700 age of deposit plus the DBI. One of our considerations were to reduce the scheme down to €3,000. Now this has already been done by a significant number of credit unions. Other credit unions have reduced it down to €5,000. We felt we could do it. However, we felt that this was disproportionately negative for a large number of our members, and we didn't want to do something that impacted our members. So you can see there with the chart, you can see from the chart there, the red dots represent the benefits under the old scheme, and the purple dots represent the benefits under the 3,000 scheme if we were to change that. So you can see there, a lot of the dots didn't move. They just went from red to purple, because for a lot of the members, it wouldn't make any difference because they don't have much to begin with. And then for a significant group of members, their benefits would drop considerably. So what the impact of that in numbers terms would be 45% of our members wouldn't see any impact, so it wouldn't make any difference. And then 55% of our members would have lower benefits. But again, as a credit union, we want to make sure that we do the best thing we can for our members with the constraints that we have. The old scheme in the red dots versus the scheme that we are introducing, which is based on a €16,000 age of debt cover rather than 12,700 age of deposit cover plus the MDBI. So when we overlay our new proposed scheme onto that group of members that contacted us, you can see that if those members were to pass away today, their benefits will be significantly enhanced. And in fact, up to 70 years of age, most members will benefit. After 70 years of age, some members benefit and some members lose their benefits. And in numbers terms, 77% of the members in that group will actually have higher benefits under our proposed new scheme versus 23% that will have lower benefits. So now let's take an opportunity to review the considerations and that the credit union and the board looked at. So again, let's talk about the life stage and financial needs again, and let's overlay that with the options. So one consideration was to cease providing life savings insurance completely. It's a unique product for Irish credit unions. Many other credit unions in other countries don't provide it. And in a low and negative interest rate environment, it's going to be very hard to sustain this into the long term. However, we do believe our scheme that we have developed is sustainable. The other option then, as we spoke about, was to reduce share cover to €3,000. So you can see the impact of that. It impacts a considerably large number of our members. And then finally, looking at our new active plan share cover. And you can see from our new active plan share cover how it's actually really fitting well into the life stages. And members, if they die in their 40s or their 50s, they will have significant benefits. And just let's look at a human story around this. If a member 41 years of age was diagnosed with cancer in the morning and only had a few months to live, and we'll say that member had a car loan from the credit union for €20,000 and shares of €10,000. Their shares would attract €15,000 life benefit as 150%. So that member's family would get 10,000 shares plus 15,000, which would be 25,000, plus their loan of 20,000 for the car will be wiped out. So the benefit that would have gone back to that family, young children, would have been €45,000. So I'm delighted to be able to say that we've been able, with our hard work over 2 years, we've been able to put together a scheme that's both sustainable and that really matches the life needs of our members. So I'd like to thank you now for bearing with me for the last 20 minutes, and I hope that you can see the hard work that we put into this to ensure that we have a sustainable free benefits for our members into the future. Thank you very much.
Now, I'm going to put some questions to you, Michael and Elaine, that have been coming in, and we'll kick off with the first one. Why are the board ignoring the motion passed at AGM?
I'll take this one. Thank you, Brendan. It's true, members did express that they would like to vote on this, but we stated that this wasn't a matter for voting. The board are responsible for general control and direction of the credit union and cannot pass this responsibility to the members. This decision has to be made for the long-term interest of the credit union and for all members generally.
Thank you. And a follow-up. Opens with the statement, we should be allowed to vote on the new insurance. Why can't we vote on the insurance?
So again, as per the Credit Union Operating Principle 5, free benefits are provided from the surplus of the credit union after the credit union has satisfied its reserves requirements and paid dividends to members. As we no longer are in a position to pay dividends and we no longer in a position to provide benefits at the current level, so the level of free benefits is a matter to be determined by the board.
Thank you. And the next one. I signed a petition to demand a vote on this. What happened to that?
I'll answer this one. We did receive the petition, and the petition expressed that members should be allowed to vote, as you said. However, the board can't abdicate their responsibility. The reality is that to continue without making changes would be a vote to close the credit union.
Thank you. And you are taking advantage of the COVID crisis to railroad this through against the wishes of members. You should be ashamed of yourselves. How can you justify this terrible move at a time like this?
Well, I don't accept that. We flagged this as far back as 2016, and again at our AGM or annual general meeting in 2019, and that we had to make changes to the free benefit. So the reason it's taken so long to implement these changes is we didn't accept just cutting over to wholesale. Instead, we've invested a significant amount of time and energy to come up with our new innovative solutions.
Okay, and now I have a comment from a member. I think this is an excellent initiative. It's clear that in the current and developing environment, if the credit union continues to be seen as a safe haven for savings with great but costly benefits, it will ring the death knell for the credit union. Rewarding active members who are contributing to the ongoing financial health of the credit union by borrowing over the course of their membership just makes sense. I'm on the board of another credit union, and I fully intend to bring this to the attention of my fellow board members.
That's great. That's a positive feedback. Thank you.
Okay. Why can't we afford the insurances anymore?
I suppose the reasons are twofold. Firstly, we've been subject to long-term low interest rates for the past 8 years, with many of our investments now earning negative returns. Secondly, members are not borrowing enough from us. So both of these have severely impacted our income, and the regulatory environment is a challenge also.
Thank you. Have you told the central bank about this move, and what do they think?
We keep in very close contact with the central bank on all of our operational matters, and we have informed the central bank. They are concerned about our cost base and to see these changes as necessary.
Thank you. And to follow on, I've been a member of the credit union for over 40 years and thought my family would be looked after when I die. It's not fair that they should lose out. Why can't this new insurance just apply to new members who join? Or maybe people who have only been members for less than, say, 10 years?
I suppose, look, it's very important, and what we've done with this new innovative plan is that we're maintaining a higher level of cover that would otherwise have been possible for members. The initial purpose of life savings is to provide small benefits to people who would not have other assets on death. Our plan maintains this. We need to strike a balance between the cost of providing free benefits and maintaining services to all of our members. Applying this to the new members would not achieve this, and again would be unfair to those new members also.
Thank you, Michael. I'm over 70. Will I lose my savings insurance benefits if I withdraw my savings and lodge them again a few months later?
Okay, so this is actually a very important question. Under the old scheme, you would have lost your benefits if you had withdrawn them after 70 years of age. But under our new scheme, if you lodge those savings in again, you will get your benefits back.
Thank you. I don't want or need a loan. I already have free banking. Why do I have to open a current account or borrow €1,000 to become an active plan member?
Again, the credit union is founded on cooperative principles, where members work with each other for the mutual benefit. We need our members to use our services. Our active plan rewards our members for using our services.
Thanks very much. Why don't you make savings by selling off some of your offices and cutting other costs? This is a credit union. You should look after the members first.
I mean, I'll take this one. So we are actively looking at this at the moment, and we can't rule out closing branches in the near future. Everything is on the table. Costs have to be cut. But if more members use our services, we may be able to avoid some of these in the future.
Okay, and the next question is somewhat related to that one. It's as this is about cutting costs, what other costs have been cut? Wages are very high and continue to grow every year. Why have only the insurances been cut?
So it's not just insurances, as we've just said in the previous question, we're looking at, yes, everything. Since the start of this year, we've reduced the number of employees from 47 to 41, which has generated a savings of roughly 200k per annum. We're looking at all costs at the moment. We're making cuts where possible. And the next stage of cuts that we need to continue making, if we need to continue making savings, is to cut the number of branches. So if members use the credit union as their primary financial institution, we can avoid this. But as I say, we aren't focusing just on insurances. Everything is on the table.
Thank you, Elaine. How can you say you're treating all your members fairly when I can't have my loan covered when I'm over 70?
The cost of premiums for the members over 70 is very high. And we've made a decision to retain access to loans for those members over 70 because we see this as a very important part of what the credit union does. And in many cases, the cost of insurance is more than the interest earned on the loan. But with the new changes we have introduced, we will be able to cover the costs while we'll be able to cover those costs while we maintain the surplus for the members.
Okay, and before I take the next question, just a comment received. Thanks for a clear presentation, which was very professional, and clearly you put a lot of thought into this. It is the right thing to do, although it will be unpalatable for some members.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. I've been a loyal member all my life. Why should I be worse off now?
Again, as the previous comment said, we have worked really hard to ensure that we didn't just make cuts for the sake of cuts. And I suppose an example would be, if you take a member with €500 in shares, the minimum life benefit insurance would give that member a benefit of €1,300. Also, with the additional opt-in death benefit indemnity, this will give that member an additional €3,000. So with this member, with say €500, we'll get a total benefit of €4,300 on death. We believe what we have achieved is very fair.
Thanks, Michael. Why is Core Credit Union doing this when other credit unions are not? This seems different.
Well, other credit unions have absolutely cut their cover levels, whereas here in Core Credit Union, we're working hard to come up with an innovative solution that protects benefits to the maximum level possible. So it would be untrue to say that other credit unions are not doing this. What they're not doing is introducing the innovative solution that we are introducing, which we believe to be incredibly fair to the maximum number of members.
Thanks, Elaine. I'm over 70. You're not treating me the same as younger members if I take a loan. Why am I being penalised for getting old?
Again, I think this is an area we work very hard on, and we want to ensure where members have a need to borrow over 70 years of age, they still have access to credit. And the gap loan protection that we have introduced will allow us to continue to lend to all members where the loan protection itself does not kick in. So members over 70 will also still have access to the life benefit indemnity and the member death benefit indemnity as well.
I suppose the next question is somewhat related to that last one. Will I still be able to get a loan if I'm over 70?
Absolutely, yes.
And more detailed one now. I have a loan. What happens if I die on the 30th of November this year?
Well, if you die on the 30th of November or the 1st of December, for that matter, your loan will be covered by the existing scheme. And same on the 1st of December, your loan will be covered. Where we've made changes to the loan protection, these will only kick in for new loans issued after the 1st of December. All of our existing loans will continue to be covered fully.
Okay, and quite a different one now next. I have a contract with the credit union. You agree to double my savings when I die. Why are you breaking the contract?
I suppose, look, these benefits have been provided out of surplus for years. There is no contract between the member and the credit union. There is a contract between the credit union and the insurance company. And again, as Elaine said earlier, we have to be making a surplus to provide these benefits. At the moment, our surplus is under pressure, so we have to make the changes.
Thanks, Michael. And the next one is a very specific question. If a member dies in December 2020 before the €60 is taken from his or her shares, is the member covered?
I suppose this will be very important to consider from the point of view when we make the deductions on the account. So initially, the cover commences in January 2021, and if a member dies in December, the €60 won't have been deducted. However, if members do sign up before the 1st of December, the insurance will be in place in December. So we would encourage our members to sign up for the member pay DBI before the 30th of November. Okay,
the next one. Why do I or should I have to pay for DBI now when I have not had to before?
Again, I suppose that's a very good question. What we've done, and we've actually enhanced the benefits overall in this regard. So we have incorporated an element of DBI into our new life benefit insurance going ahead, which will give every member a minimum of €1,300. But we're also providing this opportunity to top up that more with this member pay DBI as well.
Okay. The credit union is changing the insurance now. How do I know you won't change it again next year or the year after?
And I think that's again another very good question. The insurances, we will be reviewing these insurances annually, and in fact they have always been reviewed annually. What we will try to do, and I hope you can see by the presentation, we've worked really hard to come up with a really good plan that we feel is sustainable, and we will strive to maintain these maximum benefits possible. And again, the more members who use the credit union, the more income the credit union generates, and the easier it will be for us to sustain these into the future.
Okay, thank you. If I move to another credit union, will I be able to keep my present insurance benefits?
Again, I suppose on this particular point, we can't really comment on what the other credit unions may do, but I suppose what we can do is comment on our own credit union. So where a member moves from another credit union to core credit union, that member will qualify for the core credit union benefits from day one if they join the other credit union before they're 70 years of age.
Thank you. And another, did I hear you correctly? Does it not matter when I lodge my savings to have my savings covered?
Yes, it does not matter when you lodge your shares, and I suppose that's a key change we're introducing with this one, because in the old program, what we found is life events happens with members in their 60s and in their 70s, where for one reason or another they had to withdraw their savings, which eliminated all the benefits they had up to that point of time. So with this new cover, if a member has to withdraw savings and then gets an opportunity to re-lodge those shares after that date of withdrawal, their benefits will come back to them again.
Thanks, Michael. And another one here. What exact changes are coming in for the pensioners, and how will they be let know about it, as most of them would not have access to social media?
So from Monday, members should begin to receive in their post an information booklet detailing all of the changes that we are introducing. And again, it will be available on our website as well, but for all of our adult members over 18 years of age will receive the booklet.
Okay, and somewhat related, the next question. Why were members not notified by post about this meeting?
I'd actually take this one. So this is an information meeting. It's not an AGM. So we don't need to notify members by post. And one of the reasons we're meeting here today is to discover cost cutting. And so not sending it by post is a sure way to cut down costs where they're not required.
Yeah, and if I could just actually add to that as well. I think with the number of people who have registered online for this, I think this is maybe a medium we should explore to use in the future to communicate more frequently with our members rather than waiting for AGM each year.
Okay, this is quite a long one. Why not email individual members with an overview of where they stand and how, if they made some changes, e.g. took out a loan or saved €10 per week, their future could be very much improved? And then also, why not offer members an incentive to get rid of bank overdrafts and credit card loans by transferring their problems back to the credit union?
That's an excellent question. And look, we'll keep that on file. There's actually really good point on that, and how can we show our members the small changes that they could make and how that could have an impact on them. So we'll take that comment on board and work on it over the next couple of months.
Okay. From what I understand, everyone loses 1,300 DBI cover immediately the change happens and will have to buy their own policy to have any DBI. Is that correct?
I think we need to be just clear on that. What we have done is we've incorporated the DBI into our new life benefit insurance. So under the life benefit insurance, every member will still get a minimum, every active member will still get a minimum payment of €1,300 DBI, and then they can top it up with the members pay DBI on top of that.
Okay, we have a number of specific questions really that aren't appropriate for this forum here, and we will answer those separately. And that really brings a close to the questions that I have in front of me. So I'll refer back to you, Elaine, if I might. Just bear with me for a second.
Thank you, Brendan. And thank you to everybody for all of your questions. We will be publishing the presentation that Michael presented this evening. It'll go up this evening onto the website. It'll be available on YouTube and Facebook, and the full presentation with the Q&A as well will be available over the coming days. We do understand that as few members were having difficulty with sound, so as we said, that will be available for you all following this meeting this evening. Any questions, as we mentioned earlier, any questions that we didn't get to, though we appear to have got through them all, but please do continue to send questions in. The link questions@corecu.ie will be available and open up until midnight this evening. So if you haven't thought of a question yet and you think of something later, please do send that into us. And we'll include all of those into our frequently asked questions section of the website. So just to wrap up, I hope that more of our members will become active members and avail of the great products and services that the credit union provides. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.